Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and welcome guys to our video presentation. And for today we would like to present to you about effects of stress level on Iium students education, and we are from group 3. Who are the members of the group 3? Of course, the first name is ZAMRI, which is me. Second, we have our leader AIMAN, also SOLIHIN, and we also have two AIMAN, AIMAN, ATIF, SYAZRIL, and also IQBAL. So the content of this video presentation, of course, firstly is introduction, second is methodology, preliminary analysis, final analysis, conclusion and recommendation, and lastly sample of the questionnaire, the respondent questionnaire. Yeah. So for the introduction part, we have 7 items, which is purpose, focus areas, methods, approach, findings, importance, and also conclusion about this abstract and introduction. First is purpose, which is the study looks at how stress affects students, university students, which is IIUM students. And second is focus areas. We focus about examine the impact of stress on academic achievement, which is CGPA, and overall well-being about the student. And the third is methods. The research use surveys and academic records for a thorough understanding. We have also used MCQ and something like that. For the fourth is, which is approach. Both numbers and experience are considered for a detailed view. 5. Findings. Initial results suggest a complex relationship between stress and academic success, which is CGPA. And the importance of this presentation, which is this insight is crucial for schools or for university or college aiming to support students' well-being and life. Lastly, the conclusion of this introduction, the study suggests areas for the future research and way to help students in higher education level. Yeah. So for the methodology part, which is we use for methodology, which is information and informed consent, which means knowing that you are getting into and agreeing to it. Second is demographic information, which is basic details about a group of people. Third, we use Likert scale question, which is sharing your opinion on a statement using a range of choice. That we have a range of choice and you have to share your knowledge. And lastly, multiple choice questions is a common basic thing, which is picking the correct answer from a list of options. So that's all the methodology that we use in our presentation with our report.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Aiman bin ZAINUDDIN. So now I will explain about the preliminary analysis. So for my part, I will talk about the effects of stress level of the students based on the family household income. So basically, we just want to know is there any relation between the students' academic performance with the family household income, because we know, as we all know, that the academic performance sometimes affect the stress level effect on the academic performance. So we just want to know the correlation between both of them. So for the family household income, we put 3 categories on there. First we have B40, next we have M40, and then we have T20. So for the first part, I will talk about the students' family household income in terms of B40. So first, we need to create a table that consists of several columns, which are the CGPA, the frequency, the cumulative frequency, midpoint, frequency multiplied with the midpoint square, and then frequency multiplied with the midpoint square. So for the CGPA, we put several categories. For example, we put it like 1.01 up until to 1.50, and then we put it 1.51 up until 2, and so on. So based on all the information here, we can calculate all like the mean, median, mode, variance, and also the standard deviation. So for the mean part, basically mean is just the total number of the frequency multiplied with the midpoint, and we divide it with the sample. So here our sample is 38 students that are come from B40 background, and then we put it all of the frequency multiplied with midpoint and plus it with frequency multiplied with midpoint and divide it with the 38, you will get 3.01. So median, we need to first we need to do the sample divided by 2, and then we need to check the cumulative frequency and check it falls under which class boundary. So in our example here, L, our lower class boundary, is 3.01, while for our sample is 38, while B is just the frequency before the class boundary. Like we need to adding it like 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2, and then you will get 12, while G we get 11, and then for the width of the class boundary we get 0.5, and when you put it on the calculation you will get 3.33. Okay, so for the mode, to calculate the mode, it look kind of the same with the median, but then it more focused on the class boundary, what we call it, the class boundary frequency. So basically it is the same as before, like the L is actually the lower class boundary, and then the FM minus 1 is the frequency before the class boundary, and then the FM is the frequency of the class boundary, while for the M plus 1 is 0, and then we have W is 0.5, and when you calculate it based on the calculation, you will get the number of 3.62. So for the variance, it's just the sample multiplied with the total number of midpoint and minus it with the midpoint square and divide it with n, sample multiply with sample minus 1. So when you put it on the formula, you will get the variance 0.58, and for the standard deviation you just you will get 0.76. Okay, for the next part, which is the student's family income in the M40 category. So basically it's the same like B40. We create a table first that consists of several column like CGPA, frequency, cumulative frequency, and so on. And then the category itself is literally the same like before, but the frequency itself is different since this is like number of students who have the background of M40. So obviously the number will be changed. Like here for the sample we have 45 students. So when we want to calculate for the mean, we put it on the formula that I have mentioned earlier, and then you will got the 3.15. So for the median, obviously it is different from the B41 because the sample is different. We need to do the sample divide it by 2, and then you will get the number that you need to take a look from the cumulative frequency and check the class boundary. So here, and when you put the all the information that you checked earlier inside the formula, you will get 3.27. While for the mode, mode is the same as I mentioned earlier. You will get the answer of 3.39. While for the variance, you will get 0.36, and then for the standard deviation, you will get 0.6. Okay, so now I will continue with the last part in my topic, which is the student's family household income in terms of PA20. So basically, it's just the same as like two other categories. We need to create a table first that consists of several columns, which is the CGPA, the frequency, cumulative frequency, midpoint, frequency multiplied with the midpoint, midpoint squared, frequency multiplied with midpoint squared, and so on. So when we make it a table, you definitely will can calculate for the mean, median, mode, and so on. So for the mean, when you put it all the information above in here, like for the frequency multiplied with the midpoint and then divide it with the n. Oh yeah, for the sample for this category, this is just 14 of student, so the sample here is different, and then you will get 3.22. so for the median, you need to find the class boundary first, where you can make it like the sample divide it by 2, and then we will get the class boundary based on the cumulative frequency, and then you can get the other information like the G, the B, and the width of the class boundary. And then when you put it on the formula, you will get the answer of 3.76. Okay, for the mode, it is the same as before, but for the FM minus 1, you will get 4, FM you will get 6, while for the FM plus 1, you will get 0, the class boundary width 0.5. And then when you put the information into the formula, you will get the answer of 3.64. So for the variance, just include, you just need to calculate the total of the frequency multiplied with the midpoint and the total of frequency multiplied with the midpoint square first, and then it will be easier to calculate the variance. So in here, you will get the answer of 0.41, while for the standard deviation, you will get 0.64. Yeah, that's all from me. I will pass it to the next presenter.
The next preliminary analysis is the effects of stress level of students based on intended kuliah, which is measured by students' CGPA. As you can see here, this is our table and this is our bar graph. The range used in our students' CGPA is 1.01 to 1.50, 1.51 to 2.00, and so on until 4.00. The first one we will do for intended kuliah only. We need to do another table which consists of student CGPA, class boundary, frequency, cumulative frequency, midpoint, frequency multiplied by midpoint, the midpoint square, and then frequency multiplied by midpoint square. The first one, we need to find mean by using the formula of sum of frequency multiplied by midpoint divided by sample, and then we will get 3.25. For median, we need to find the median class first.
by using n divided by 2, which is n is the number of sample. In this case, 79 divided by 2, we will get 39.5, and then we need to find where the 39.5 falls in which class in the cumulative frequency. In this case, it falls under the 3.10 to 3.50 class. So that is our median class. So we will be using that class on our median formula. So the L will be 3.005, which is the lower boundary of the median class. The N will be the total number of sample. The B will be the total of frequency before the median class. And then the G will be the frequency of the median class. And the W will be the class width. So when we put in all the numbers into the formula, we will get 3.34. Next, for mode, we need to find the modal class, which is simple by searching for the highest number of frequency in the table, which is 35. So we can say that the modal class is 3.01 to 3.50. So we will be using that class. So the L will be same as the median, which is 3.005, the lower boundary, and then the frequency of class before the modal class will be 7, and then the frequency of the modal class will be 35, and the frequency of the modal class after the modal class will be 28, and the class width is 0.5. And when we put in all the numbers into the formula, we will get 3.405. Next, for variance, we will be using this formula, which is the number of sample multiplied by the sum total of frequency multiplied by midpoint square, and then minus by frequency multiplied by midpoint squared, and then divided by number of sample multiplied by number of sample minus 1. We will get 0.32. For standard deviation, we will just square root the variance, and we will get 0.57. Next, for not intended kuliah, it's just the same as the intended kuliah, but as the frequency is different, so the answer will be different. So the first, mean is the same formula as before. We will get 2.58, and then for median, we need to find the median class first by using n divided by 2, which we will get 11, and then from there we can find the median class by looking at the cumulative frequency. So in this case, the median class is 2.01 to 2.50. So the lower boundary will be 2.005, the n will be 22, the total number of frequency before the median class will be 7, the frequency of the median class will be 4, and the class width will be 0.5. So the median is 2.51. Next, for mode, we need to find the modal class first by looking for the highest number of frequency, which is 5. So the modal class here is 1.51 to 2.00. So the lower boundary is 1.505. The frequency of modal class before the modal class. The frequency of the class before the modal class is 2. The frequency of the modal class itself is 5, and the frequency of the class after the modal class is 4, and the class width is 0.5. So we will get the mode is 1.88. And next, for variance, we will be using the same formula. We just put in all the values, which is the fx squared and fx, and we will get 0.71. And for standard deviation, same as before, we will just square the value of variance and we will get 0.84.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is SOLIHIN SHUKRI and I will be talking about effect of sales level based on time study management. As you can see, there is a bar chart in a table consists of number of students and student CGPA. From the survey of data, it can be deducted that most students have an average time management skill, that is 50 students, and the least student, which is 5 students, have very poor time management skill. So from the table, we can conduct the calculation of mean, median, mode, variance and standard deviation. The function of each calculation, like mean, is to find the average of the table, while for the median is to find the middle value of the data sets, and the modes is to find the frequency of the data sets. Hence, standard deviation and variance is to find the dispersion of the data sets. So, first of all, very pure time management. In the table 3.1, I already draw out the information from the table 3.0. So here I conduct the calculation based on the table and I get that mean is 2.46, median is 3.09, mode is 3.255, variance is 1.203, and lastly the standard deviation is 1.097. Second is pure students time management. In the table 3.2, as you can see, I already draw out the data from the table 3.0, and from the calculation, I get that mean is 2.903, median is 3.105, mode is 3.305, the variance is 0.596, and the standard deviation is 0.722. And thirdly, for the average students time management, in table 3.3, if I already drawn out all the information, it consists of the frequency, cumulative frequency, midpoint, fx, x the power of 2, and the fx the power of 2. So the mean that I got from this table is that 2.73, while for median is 3.061, mode is 3.268, and the variance is 0.843, and lastly standard deviation I got 0.918. For disciplines time management, in the table 3.4, I use the table to conduct the calculation and I get that mean is 3.347, median is 3.482, the mode is 3.638, the variance is 0.073, and the standard variance of the table 3.3 is 0.27. And lastly, the various discipline of students time management. And from the table 3.5, you can see that the data collected from the table, and from the data collected I conduct the calculation, and from that I got that mean is 3.149, median is 3.63, the mode is 3.732, variance is 1.176, and lastly the standard variance is 1.084. That's all from me.
So, Assalamualaikum. My name is IQBAL bin ZULFIKRI. My matric number 23177077. So, I'm going to presenting final analysis. The outcome of the data and survey that we collect show that all information is linked to each other. For example, the student's GPA that act as an independent variable is related to dependent variable, which is time study disciplines. There are also confounding variables that affect students' GPA, like family household income. This research measures central tendencies such as mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and variance. Besides, to ease us of how to see the correlation between each of the data, we use a histogram graph and draw out table information. Despite the collected data, we know that the result of our online survey that we gathered from our Iium students are only based on their individual preferences and may direct to our collected data. According to the statistic and graph that we accumulate, shows that family household income affect the stress level. In this case, stress level were measured by students' GPA. To study about student household income, we prepared 3 sections, which is B40, M40, and T20. The result shows that the total student who scored 3.51 and above is under the category of B40, which is 15 students. For M40, there are 11 students, and for T20, 6 students. This is clearly to state that students in the B40 category always aim for the better result. In other terms, high stress level. This is aligned with the research hypothesis of our project that family background is also a factor toward categorizing stress level. Moreover, this hypothesis is considered false because the mean for B40 in student performance is 3.10, which is the highest than M40 and T20. After that, for the course taken based on personal choice or others, we divided into 2 groups, which is intended and not intended kuliah. That most of the students following the course they wanted is about 79 students for intended kuliah and 22 students for not intended kuliah. Using CGPA as a stress level measure, it makes sense that students who choose their own course have better performance with 63 students that score 3.01 and above. However, mean calculated for both groups state that not intended kuliah have lower stress level with 2.58 than intended kuliah, which is 3.25. All in all, students who choose their own course have better performance than students who choose their course based on their preferences. Last but not least, to measure how well the student manage their time affect their stress level, in this Google survey, we put the scale on 1 to 5 from very poor to very good time management. Most students answer the scale of 3, which is the average time management scale with 50 students. 23 students have good time management and 9 students who have very good time management. Most of the students who get a CGPA of 3.01 and above are average, well and very well. From the research hypothesis, we state that students that have better time management are better at minimizing their stress level. Last, it can be concluded that students who have better time management have better performance in their studies.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is SYAZRIL bin NORULHISHAM. My metric number is 2211677, and now I will present about conclusion. Before I start, I will explain about data description. Firstly, we have dependent, which have stress level and study environment. Secondly, independent, student GPA, and lastly, confounding. We have age, credit hour, course, time management, student discipline, family background, and social activities. Okay, now I will present about conclusion. For number 1 issue, the research could not fully achieve its goal due to uneven participant distribution. Secondly, solution use a stratified sampling for even representation in relevant groups. And number 3, benefits. This method improve data validity by ensuring even and normal distribution. And for number 4, inclusion. Include more students influenced by parents' choices for a comprehensive understanding. And number 5, privacy. Implement stricter safeguards like verifying student identity for sensitive data. And for number 6, cost representation. Set a fixed number of responders from each cause for a true investigation. And last but not least, outcome. This improvement address drawbacks and pave the way for more research on stress and academic performance at IIUM, including CGPA. And next, you will see the sample question. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.